and then you will put forward your case in the same way. All right? All right, Mrs. Tate, you may proceed.
As the tribunal will have seen from the various submissions, this case concerns Ofsted's decision to cancel registration for the childminding service run by Mrs. Jean Harrison at number 3 Bacon Road, London, SE14. Over a period of several months in 2004, Ofsted inspectors recorded a number of serious lapses in hygiene and operational standards. On several occasions, which are listed in the report, Mrs. Harrison was found to be frequently taking telephone calls when she was meant to be watching over the children.
The chair of the panel will decide the procedure for any particular hearing. Depending on the type of case, the chair will decide which party should put their case first, but both sides will be able to cross-examine the other party's witnesses.
And on another occasion, the inspector found children eating their lunch on the floor of the play area while there was a dog in the room. When this was pointed out to Mrs. Harrison, she denied that the dog was a health hazard and told the inspector that in her view he was nitpicking. On another occasion, the inspector found that younger children had dirty nappies that had clearly not been changed for some time. Again, Mrs. Harrison took the view that this was a minor issue and that the inspector was exaggerating its importance. On yet another occasion, Mrs. Harrison was found to be looking after more children than allowed under the terms of her registration.
If you disagree with something you hear, make a note and bring it up when it's your turn. Don't interrupt or get angry. The same goes for when the respondent's lawyer asks you questions. Stay calm and reasonable. If you allow yourself to get upset, it can throw you off balance.
Is it true that on March 3rd you received a letter from Ofsted pointing out that the hygiene standards at your premises were unacceptable and requiring you to become compliant within 14 days?
Yes, that's correct.
And is it true that during the subsequent inspection there was a dog in the playroom where the children were eating their lunch?
Yes, but as I explained, my young son let him in by mistake. The dog's not allowed in the children's playroom.
But he was in there?
Can I ask a
Yes.
question? Mrs. Harrison, can I just clarify something, please? What arrangements do you normally have to ensure that the dog doesn't have access to the children?
Oh, well, the playroom's on the ground floor in the front of the house, and when the children are there, then he's kept in the living room at the back.
And what about when the children aren't there? Can he get into the playroom then?
Oh, no, it's kept locked.
Thank you.
At any time during the hearing, members of the panel may wish to put their own questions either to you or to one of the witnesses. Again, this is nothing to be alarmed about. Their job is to understand the case thoroughly enough to reach a fair decision.
To be fair, the tribunal needs to know all of the facts. One of the things that I've learned over many years of doing this is that we need to hear what the appellant has to say. We get lots of information in the papers, but it's what the appellant says and what happens in the tribunal which is very important to us. So sometimes if we ask questions, it's to make sure that we have got all of the facts and help us to decide the case properly.
Did you, at any time, see the dog in physical contact with the children or their food?
When you cross-examine witnesses, again, stick to the facts. Being aggressive or rude to a witness won't help your case.
Do you remember what I told you about my circumstances with my mother at the time? Do you recall I wrote you a letter at that time?
Which letter is that, please?
20th of April, page 23.
Thank you. Please continue.